3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Good morning, and welcome to Case Live. I'm Andrew Dargatz, Case Construction's wheel loader product manager. Last week I had the privilege to highlight all the brand new latest enhancements to the Case G-Series wheel loader lineup, and how these new enhancements can help drive improvements to any wheel loader operation to increase production, provide greater uptime, and provide an overall improved quality of operation. This week we're going to talk about the improvements to the machine's connectivity and the technologies that make it possible and improvements to your operation. Similar to last week, at the end of today's overview, we're going to open it up for a live Q&A. So please submit your questions in the Q&A field at the lower part of your screen. Also, if you were unable to join us last week, or if you saw it and you want to share it with others, we're going to post the link to last week's event in the chat section. I'd like to take a moment now and introduce our good friend, Mr. Richie Snyder. Morning, Richie.
Good morning, Andrew.
So, for those of you who may recognize Richie, Richie is one of our product managers who is Mr. Telematics and Machine Control.
Thank you.
Now, Richie and I have talked a lot over the last several months as we've been building out and getting ready for the launch event and focusing on the improvements to the overall connectivity. Connectivity is important. But if you don't know how to use that technology to drive actionable improvements, what value does it have?
Exactly.
And that's why we brought Richie Snyder in today to join us, our expert on machine technology, telematics, and connectivity. But we want to take a couple minutes. After last week's event, we received a lot of feedback from those that attended the event, wanting to see more on our new touchscreen display. And after all, since our new touchscreen display is really not only the brain box of the machine, but it's a core focal point between the machine and the operator through a daily operation. So we're going to take a couple minutes and give you a closer sneak peek, a better overview of the new touchscreen display. So let's climb on up. So as we climb up into the cab, we see the new touchscreen display. Now, not only does this provide the improved navigation functionality of a touchscreen, but it also provides a number of new enhanced settings and features that we're going to highlight in greater detail. Our home screen looks very similar to our current monitor display today that features the push button navigation. We have our machine vitals, fuel, def, engine hours, gear selection, time, and so forth. However, if we go over here on the side, we see that these new configurable icons on this main display correlate to the configurable buttons on the right-hand armrest. If we go into some of these new settings, if we go into Machine Info, we see a number of new tabs laid out to be able to give us more machine information with easier access and fewer clicks. We go back. We go into machine settings. Again, a number of similar features that is found in our current display, such as engine settings, transmission settings. But then we feature a number of new settings. One of them being the new configurable buttons. Here, we can log into and we have 3 drop downs to select the machine functions that we would want selected for each configurable button. For machines that feature the new optional payload system, you have the ability to set 3 additional drop-downs that you would have additional functionality for the configurable buttons when you're in the payload screens. Go ahead, select your desired function, select update, and your settings are saved. Also, we have the new lift and tilt control. From the factory, your machines are going to come pre-programmed with a moderate setting. This functionality is very similar to the performance that you would have in current G-Series today. However, the new improvements featuring the aggressive setting, which is key for operators or applications that require improved fine bucket metering or even aggressive bucket cleanout. Operators who maybe want a little bit smoother control, maybe operators that don't have as many hours behind the wheel of a loader, or that are operating maybe with forks, may choose to have smoother operation to avoid material from shifting. They would then prefer the smooth setting. And then also another new setting is payload settings that allows you to go into greater detail and program a number of key functions for machines that are configured with the optional payload system. Go into machine service. Again, a lot of the same functionality, settings, sensors, readings, machine readouts, and so forth. A few new functions, again, payload service. You could go into payload service and start a new ticket, or you most likely would have payload set as one of your configurable buttons, so at the push of a button will take you directly to your payload screen. TPMS, go in there and go ahead and program the target tire pressure for each tire, and then receive notifications if your set tire falls outside of the set pressure range. Another key feature is operator's manual. From the factory, your machines will come loaded with a French, English, and Spanish version of the operator's manual. The nice thing about these settings is that they work as a searchable PDF. So go ahead, log into the operator's manual using the search field, enter any keywords or phrases that would help you find the settings or information of desired, and then it will search for you. You may also have from the dealer an installed quick start guide. Here's a document that has a number of QR videos that provide you short little clips of the overview of your machine and a number of the different features and settings. Using your mobile device, scan one of the QR codes, and you'll be taken to one of the videos to be able to, again, walking us through a number of the machine settings and features. As we see here,
hi, I'm Andrew Dargatz.
We recognize him.
Product manager.
Oh, and there's Mr. Garrett Campbell,
Commercial training.
head of training.
I want to.
It's almost as if he's back with us again this week after last week's live event. We log back out. Here again, we have our configurable icons. Again, these correlate to the configurable buttons on the touchscreen display or on the right-hand armrest. Go ahead and select your configurable button, and it'll take you or activate the function that is programmed and set. So now that we showcased the full capability of the new touchscreen display, let's hop back on down and get with Richie to talk about the overall improved connectivity of the G-Series wheel loader lineup. I really don't want to embarrass myself as I'm exiting the machine on Case Live. Richie, again, thanks for joining us today and coming all the way out here. A lot of exciting things when we start talking about connectivity and technology and working with customers to use this improved technology for their operation. What can you tell us about this new Site Connect module that's featured on all 7 models of the G-Series wheel loader lineup?
Thanks, Andrew, and thanks to all of you for joining us today. Put simply, the Site Connect module is the name we've given to the new modem and connectivity technology featured in the newly enhanced Case G-Series wheel loaders. The new Site Connect module improves the volume, flow, and integration of data to the Case SiteWatch Telematics platform and makes remote diagnostics, code clearing, and software updates possible. You'll see this loader has a window display that shows the Site Connect module logo. When you see this symbol on Case equipment, you know you have these capabilities.
Richie, you mentioned it improves volume, flow, and integration of data into SiteWatch Telematics. What does that mean?
You know, that's a great question, Andrew. Well, at its most simple, it's newer technology, so we're going to see even better connectivity compared to the previous modem But the real difference maker is the fact that you now have two-way communication capabilities. So it's not just telematics data coming off of it, but you also have the ability to pair your phone to the machine and allow the dealer to remotely access it, to understand what codes are firing, and ultimately to send updates to the machine.
Before we get more into service and the remote diagnostics of everything, last week we talked a lot about the new optional integrated payload system. And we received a number of questions from viewers inquiring about the data that's reported, how to access it, and how they can use that information to improve the operational side of their business. I mean, we know from the payload side itself, right, from the operator and how a payload system improves his operation in the field and improve load accuracy. But can you talk a little bit more about the data side and managing it from the office side of the business?
Yeah, Garrett broke that down really well for us last week. The system is capable of holding up to 500 customers, 1,000 trucks, 50 different material types, and 200 tickets. That sounds impressive, but more important on the business end is for that information to easily be reported and accessed. That's where the integrations with Case SiteWatch comes in. The payload reporting is easily accessible in the report section of SiteWatch, and there you can quickly identify payload reporting and performance over a period of time by machine, by customer, and by material. Then, as with all reporting in SiteWatch, that data can easily be exported in an Excel spreadsheet where it can be sorted, manipulated, and saved for any billing, reporting, and historical purposes.
Richie, a lot of great advantages there, but specifically in regards to fleet managers and business owners, what are some other key takeaways that they can use the data to better their operation?
That's a great question, Andrew, and it goes back to what you were talking about earlier, about making data actionable. The payload data that comes off this machine gives fleet managers insights into how many buckets it's taking to fill up a truck, and that little piece of information provides insights into the proper sizing of buckets and trucks and optimizing cycles in production or heavy truck loading environments. It also provides another touch point, whether it's for billing or confirming that a truck wasn't overloaded when it left the yard. It gives you a benchmark on productivity, so you can easily map out the number of trucks or the weight of material loaded in a day. That then allows you as the fleet manager or the business owner to look at that data and say, okay, why were we lower on this day, or why did we load fewer trucks? And then either coach the operator in best practice or identify other areas for improvement in the entire process. And the real-time in-cab feedback to the operator of the payload system should not be overlooked either. The ability to accurately load a truck as close to its desired weight as possible helps speed up cycle times and prevent situations where loaders have to go back and top off the trucks while they sit on the scale, which is inefficient use of time, and it adds wear and tear on the machine to achieve that desired load.
Richie, that's awesome. I mean, clearly there's still a lot of opportunity for telematics within this industry. And although that the payload system is a new option for all 7 models within the G-Series wheel loader lineup, ProCare is standard. And with ProCare is 3 years of SiteWatch telematics, as well as the planned maintenance contract. Now, how do we bring all this together along with the new Case Uptime Center, bringing dealer, case, and customer together?
It's a combination of telematics data flowing to the dealer and to Case, and then the remote diagnostics capabilities that are made possible through the Site Connect module and the new Site Manager app. Let's start with the simplest step. It's the collaborative fleet management relationship between the machine owner and the local dealer. We encourage Case owners to share their telematics feed with their local dealer. This helps the local service department keep track of engine hours and preventative maintenance schedules, and also allows them to monitor the machine performance for anything that may seem out of order. This is particularly powerful to small to mid-sized contractors who may not have a fleet manager on staff. The dealer serves as a second set of eyes and an extension of the contractor's fleet management staff. But we're even taking it a step further with the newly enhanced G-Series wheel loaders. Case technical experts will also be using the telematics data to monitor operating parameters and data from the Case Uptime Center. When a G-Series wheel loader falls out of normal operating parameters, the Case Uptime Center sends an alert to the local dealer. The local dealer then can review the data with the customer and make a determination if everything with the machine is operating properly or if action needs to be taken. This creates multiple layers of preventative action on behalf of the G-Series wheel loader owners by Case and their local dealer. The goal is to identify issues that require attention before they become a downtime event. And as we've talked about, uptime is one of the core principles of this new launch.
And that brings us to the next level of collaborative fleet management, made possible to the new G-Series wheel loader lineup: remote diagnostics.
That's right. It's now easier than ever for a dealer's service technicians to identify issues and clear codes remotely. Through the Site Manager app, which you can download for any Apple or Android device, you can pair your mobile device to the machine and then connect it with a dealer's service tech who can identify codes, clear codes. They can even do software update if needed. This eliminates unnecessary trips to the field and the related costs for both the dealer, the service tech, and the equipment owner. And it ultimately creates a greater uptime because it has the power to significantly shorten the window between when an issue is identified or a code fires and when the code is cleared and the machine is back up and running. It can be done all remotely. That will save everyone quite a bit of time. But if it does require a field visit, the service tech knows exactly what to expect when they get out to the machine, which should also shorten the service window before that machine is up and running again. All of this supports greater uptime for the equipment owner.
That's awesome. That speaks directly to both uptime and production.
Definitely.
Lastly, let's talk about the new option, tire pressure monitoring system. Now, I briefly mentioned it when I was up in the cab and we were going through some of the different screens. This new option features a sensor on each valve stem for each tire. These sensors communicate to a receiver and displays it back through the monitor. Essentially, the operator is able to program the target pressure for each tire and then is alerted or notified when the tire pressure falls outside of the set range. Richie, can we talk a little bit about this new option and how the tire pressure monitoring system can not only drive for reduced TCO, but also for greater uptime?
Absolutely. Proper tire inflation improves machine responsiveness and operator comfort. Also improves fuel economy and reduces wear and tear on the tires. The system alerts operators and fleet management staff when tire inflation falls outside the desired range. That point of ground engagement is critical. Just as with the human body, if there's something wrong with our feet, it affects our ability to go out and even do the most basic day-to-day activities without complications. A foot injury causes us to walk funny, puts unnecessary stress on our knees and other parts of the leg. The exact same thing can be said of underinflated tires. Underinflated tires puts unnecessary stress and weight on the axles and other connected components, leading to wear and tear over time. This wears tires down faster and tires are expensive. And you'll ultimately burn less fuel on properly inflated tires as well. So you'll see a total cost of ownership advantage there. And then in some applications, we know that operators really guard against overinflation. They want a little give and cushion in their tires, so it helps guard against that too.
Thanks, Richie. And thanks to all of you for joining us at another Case Live and giving us the opportunity to highlight the advancements and improved connectivity to the G-Series wheel loader lineup. We're about ready to transition to the live Q&A, but before we do, we want to share with you a Tech Talk video by Mr. Shop Talk Ted Polzer on the new Case Uptime Center.
Think we get any questions on the four-corner strobe lights?
Bill probably put you up to this, didn't he? And I'm not 6'11" either.
Oh, come on.
Hi, I'm Ted Polzer, Director of Product and Customer Support for Case Construction North America. Here today to talk to you about a major benefit of the newly enhanced Case G-Series wheel loaders and the support from the Case North American Uptime Center. The key word there is uptime. And as long as your equipment is operating and operating well, you're meeting deadlines, your whole operation is moving forward, you're working more efficiently, and most importantly, you're more profitable. Case SiteWatch Telematics, matched with the new Site Connect module featured in the new G-Series wheel loader, allows you, at your discretion, to share real-time data more effectively with your local Case dealer and our team in the Uptime Center. This proactively identifies issues with the machine that may require attention and allows our teams to work together to identify solutions and to schedule appropriate follow-up actions with the machine at a time that is convenient for you. That kind of collaborative fleet management ensures that numerous technical experts familiar with how these machines work always have an eye on your equipment. Locally at the dealer, here at Case, and obviously with your team on the ground. All working together to ensure that we're being proactive with fleet management, preventative maintenance, and that you're getting the most uptime out of your equipment. For more information on the newly enhanced Case G Series wheel loaders, contact your local Case dealer and learn more at kce.com.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you again for joining us on Case Live. There's some work going on behind me, apparently. We're just going to roll with it. Andrew, Richie, thank you for everything this morning. A couple things I want to confirm real quick. Andrew, did I see you do, was that the double pistols when you mentioned remote diagnostics there?
The joys of live.
That is an immediate deduction of 10 cool points. We'll calculate these at the end of the meeting. And then Richie, if you've been following Richie's posts on LinkedIn lately, and I recommend you follow both of these guys on LinkedIn, Richie's dad has been very active in liking his posts on LinkedIn, and he sent a message in this morning. He wants to make sure you're okay. And I said, we've been feeding him 3 times a day, and you were tucked in at the hotel at a reasonable hour last night. So everything here is good.
Good, Dad.
Thank you again for joining us here today, folks. The Q&A box at the bottom of the screen here, that is where we will take your questions on everything related to the G Series and the new connected technologies that Andrew and Richie have talked with you about this morning. But before we jump into that real quick, the next Case Live event will be May 26th, and for that event, we are welcoming Brad Stemper and Ted Polzer, and maybe a few other special guests back into the Case Live arena to talk about the pre- and post-flight operation checks that you should be doing every day with your equipment. That'll be a great educational session. Brad and Ted are 2 of the best people in terms of equipment nerds to lead that kind of discussion, and we hope you'll join us on May 26th. I just dropped the registration link for that down in the chat box right now. So with that, we're going to jump into the live Q&A that we have coming in from the people at home. Richie, I think this one will come to you first. This was in line with one of the questions we had last week. If I want the Site Connect module on a machine I already own, can I do that?
The Site Connect module is really specific for this machine currently. This machine's got the architecture and infrastructure to support it. So as we develop and our machines evolve, going forward, that modem will be available. The Site Connect module will be available in more equipment, but for today, it's just in this new G Series wheel loader.
And a follow-up question to that, Richie, when can we get this connectivity on additional product lines?
They're constantly evolving, Bill, so whoever asked that question, our next generation of machines, as we evolve, we'll start putting that newer technology in with those machines.
Very good. And the tire pressure monitoring system, is that optional or standard?
The tire pressure monitoring system and the new integrated payload system are really the 2 new options associated with these new machines and the new launch of the G Series wheel loader lineup.
Awesome. Yusuf, who joined us last week, is back with us here again this week. And I think this first question gets into the maybe a calibration discussion, but this does not have anything to do with today's talk, but could you discuss how there is such a large difference with the lift capacity with a bucket versus pallet fork? So that's more of a general equipment question. Is there a difference with as we calculate lift capacity with buckets and pallet forks?
There is. So it all deals with, the distance of the weight is from the loader arms, right? The geometry was the word I was looking for, right? You curl your bucket back and everything tucks in real close to your loader arms, right? And gives you closer center of gravity as far as for tipping. You now get pallet forks, and the farther you put that weight out from your tires and your machine counterweight and so forth, you're gonna increase the likelihood of tipping. So therefore, the ability to lift is less with pallet forks when the weight is much farther than with a bucket that is curled much closer to your tires.
And then I'm going to follow it up. He had a second question unrelated to that right away. And this is in regards to the payload system. How would you select which truck company you are loading with the new payload system?
Oh, that's easy. So when we don't have power. You'd be simply when you open up a new ticket and you end up seeing the payload, and we've showcased this on a couple of other tech talks and other tools that we've posted online. You will be able to, when you start a ticket, literally press the button that says truck, material, or customer, and you can either enter that information live, or you can go ahead and select from a pre-saved field.
Awesome. Richie, I think this one will come to you. When can I get the Site Manager app?
Great question. You can get the app today. It's available on the Apple Store or the Google Android Play Store. You can download that as of right now.
And then another question that came up as a follow-up to that, is there anything else that I can do with that app?
Right now, the app is just going to be for that two-way communication for the machine with the dealership, for that remote service capability. We're always looking for improvement, so I wanted to do the double gun, so stay tuned. I got to be like Andrew.
Negative 10
points.
points for you as well. We are keeping score at home.
Yeah.
Question here, is the new smart mode just really eco mode? Andrew, you want to take that one?
I love the question. No. So smart mode, though, incorporates some of the savings that you would have with eco, such as lower RPMs when at idle. But smart mode is truly designed as smart mode, right? It manages the communication between engine, transmission, and the operator, right? To give you better performance, give you the power when you're digging into the pile for an efficient, faster cycle time, better bucket fill, but to manage it so you're not spinning your tires, generating excessive tire wear. So it's literally a set it and forget it type power mode, giving you the fuel savings and giving you the power when you need it for the performance, and the savings that you'll appreciate when at idle or not in use.
Excellent. Another question here, back to the tire pressure monitoring system. Can I add the TPMS after the initial purchase?
Absolutely. The TPMS, again, is a new option for the new G-Series wheel loaders. And you'll be able to, either order that option from the factory, or if you get one of the new machines and you wish to add it on after the fact, you can work with your dealer for the sensors and the other necessary components.
Thank you, sir. Just a reminder to everybody, we'll keep taking questions here as long as we're getting them. The Q&A box is down here at the bottom of your screen. Type in your questions there, and we'll be asking them as they come in. Richie, another one, this might be best suited for you. Can I access my SiteWatch reports from the field?
Certainly can. You can access anything that has mobile tech. I wanted to say mobile phone, but you can access from any device that can connect to the internet. So if that is a mobile phone, if that is a tablet, anywhere in the field, as long as you're connected to the internet, you can log on to casesitewatch.com.
Excellent. And another question back to the tire pressure monitoring system. Can you explain a little bit more about the variance in the TPMS and how that range is set?
Absolutely. I'll take it a little further and go as far as an overview of setting and utilizing the option. So we talked about how the tire pressure monitoring, each tire has its own sensor, right? That sensor communicates to a receiver and that displays it out on the display. And I think you saw that when we were going and talking about it earlier, right? So an operator can very easily set the target pressure for each tire. Simply go into the machine, service, TPMS, and then you can program what pressure you want for each tire. And then you can set your variance percentage, right? So the percentage that you allow that PSI to go with beyond, plus or minus that set target pressure. And then if the tire does fall out of the set range, the operator then will receive a notice or an alert in the display letting them know exactly which tire and to which degree that pressure has fallen out of the set range.
Excellent. Richie, coming back to you on this one, how long can I retrieve historical data from SiteWatch?
That's a great question. Historical data is saved. You can go back, as much as 18 months if you want to pull any kind of report or look at information.
However, you may want to trim down your search parameter. Trying to look for information over a 30-day period may be a lot of information on that report. So I would start looking a little bit smaller and chunk it. But you can go back, as far as 18 months if you wanted to.
And then a follow-up to that, we're talking a lot about heavy equipment here with these last couple of events, but can I get SiteWatch on a skid steer?
You certainly can. SiteWatch is available for all of our product lines. It is an optional feature on a skid steer. It can be installed at the factory, or it can be done at the dealership with a dealer-installed kit.
Bill, if, sorry to chime in.
Yeah.
I think it's also worth noting, although you cannot get it as an option on the skid steer, it is standard on all case heavy equipment as part of ProCare. So we're talking wheel loaders, dozers, excavators, and so forth. Any sort of heavy piece of equipment comes standard with ProCare, and with that, then your 3 years of SiteWatch telematics.
Excellent point.
Fantastic. The back to the payload system here, Andrew. Who do you see as being the primary user of the payload system?
Oh, that's a fun question. So we've seen, for those that have followed me on LinkedIn, right? So we've been out and around the last couple months, meeting with customers, working with payload, and getting ready for the release of it. I mean, I think most common, you think about pits and quarries, major production type applications. But really, we've seen this, the interest, the demand for this technology to span across so many more segments. Really anything as far as if you're loading trucks that are over-the-road trucks and being mindful of making sure that they're not getting overloaded, or you're in a production application to manage amount of material being moved. We've gotten demand from general construction sites, topsoil screeners, landscape yards, municipalities, much greater demand in municipalities, and even those loaded maybe bulk salt over the winter months. So, I mean, again, the demand spans across many segments.
We're getting a good number of questions here about the payload system here. Ricardo Garcia, one of our good dealer partners here in North America, has asked, is there an audible sound when you reach desired payload? And I think in follow-up to that, I would ask, in the visual of the screen, how does someone know when they've reached or hit the desired weight that they're looking for? What is that interaction like for the operator?
Okay. So the answer to everything is yes. Once we go ahead and we go into payload and you set your target weight, and you will have our weighing arc, right, which is going to give you the visual. So every time you're dumping a bucket of material and it's calculating the amount of weight that you are tracking to reach your set target weight, you will see the progression. And then once you hit your target weight, you will then see not only a color change, you will have an audible alert, and so you'll have multiple notifications notifying the operator that you have hit the set target weight.
And another payload, a very popular discussion point, another payload question, is your payload system aftermarket? And if I'm understanding the question right, I think they're asking, is this something we make, or is this something that we buy aftermarket?
No, this is all Case DNA. This is our payload system designed by Case for our Case machines. So everything that it takes into account, our electronics, our hydraulics, this is our DNA.
And unless someone comes in here off the top ropes in the last few seconds, this will be our last question of this episode of Case Live. All of these technical enhancements that we are adding today, are they covered under ProCare?
Yes, of course. As we know, with ProCare, ProCare provides 3-year factory warranty for 3 years, 3,000 hours. So absolutely, that trend continues.
Excellent. And I would say again, thank you folks so much for joining us at another Case Live event. We will be doing this again on May 26th, just about a month from now, with Brad and Ted. Again, that link to register is down in the chat box here today. And we're going to play you out today. We're going to turn back the clock to late last year, appropriate for today's discussion, when we relaunched the SiteWatch Telematics platform with all new interface and reporting capabilities. And we're going to play you out with that overview of the new SiteWatch capabilities. And we look forward to seeing you at the next Case Live. Be good, be safe. We'll see you next time.
Equipment Telematics gives you powerful information that guides the health and performance of your fleet.
Case is now making telematics easier and more intuitive with all new Case SiteWatch, our next generation telematics platform. The new SiteWatch comes with a new dashboard, a more intuitive navigation, and overview sections that spotlight critical information without requiring the user to search extensively through the portal.
SiteWatch is easy to use, whether you're at your office, out in the field on your phone or tablet, anywhere with internet or a cellular connection. And it complies with AEMP 2.0 telematics standards, so it's deployable across mixed fleets of all sizes, allowing you to view your entire fleet in a single interface.
One of the biggest changes you might notice when you first log into SiteWatch is the dashboard. It features a new menu that's easy to understand, as well as 5 primary widgets that focus on key fleet information and performance factors, including an equipment overview, an equipment search function, fuel use, maintenance status, and recent alarms.
An easy drop-down menu provides access to critical reports on equipment utilization, fuel consumption, and maintenance. And it's easy to set up additional reports that detail specific alerts and fault codes.
Information from SiteWatch such as alerts and reminders can be shared with you, your crew, and your dealer in real time to help expedite any service the machine might require. Working together to ensure optimum uptime and the greatest possible performance for your equipment.
SiteWatch provides you many benefits in addition to fleet management, including the ability to analyze workload and productivity, improve record keeping and long-term analysis, improve billing and estimating, and enhance equipment security and preventing unauthorized use.
Whether you're accessing it as a standard feature or as part of Case ProCare, or subscribing to it as a standalone service on your Case light and heavy equipment, the all-new Case SiteWatch Telematics platform gives you, your team, and your dealer service department all the information needed to improve performance, uptime, and overall profitability on your equipment. For more information about Case SiteWatch or about Case entire lineup of equipment and solutions, please visit your dealer or visit us at kce.com/sitewatch.